So, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining this session. Let's start with my introduction first because this is my first session. My name is Mayank Tiwari. I'm a JavaScript engineer and I'm a global speaker. Along with that, I'm a tech educator as well. And I do have overall 7+ years of experience, primarily onto the JavaScript front-end tech stack. Okay. Along with that, I delivered multiple tech talks on different topics, different libraries, frameworks. If I just take example of React, Angular, Node, and all those, and I hosted multiple podcast as well, though that is available on SoundCloud. And whenever you get a chance, you can listen to that one as well. Okay. So that is a bit about my introduction, and in this session, we are going to start from the very basics of our ID knowledge. Okay, guys. So here we first of all we consider in such a way that we do have very naive knowledge. We can understand is how ID got evolved. Okay, how ID got evolved, and then after that, we're gonna discuss about the editors and IDEs. Okay, what are the different versions that we all are using. Then after that, we're going to discuss a bit about the installation as well, installation and walkthrough, how you can install, in your system. It's either it's Windows, Linux, Mac, or any other environment if you're using onto. Okay, so in different environment, the interface not going to change. Only some sort of commands or installation instructions going to change. Okay, so that only the difference is there, and that we're going to help you out in that one as well. And after that, what we were having is we are having one more topic in that one. Is that a very basic program? Once we set it up our IDE, we're gonna run a very basic program, and we can see that how you can debug. We're gonna understand some sort of logic on browser as well. How you can debug it, what sort of utilities that you're having in browser that you can utilize for your development purpose. Okay, and in between that, guys, we were having some discussion onto the some uh, language as well. If I'll take example of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I'm not going to make any sort of advanced code or not even a very major line of codes. I'm just writing a very simple 5 to 10 lines of code, and then I'm going to help you how you can see those code changes into the action. Okay, that also we're going to see it. So let me share my screen. Okay. Yeah. Hope everyone able to see that. So in that one, guys, what I was explaining is we're gonna first of all understand that how Visual Studio Code we were gonna install. That's one of the steps that we're gonna follow. But before that, as I mentioned that in our agenda, we're gonna discuss about the IDE and editors. Okay, so you all aware of it. You all aware of it that IDE, whenever you are writing any sort of code in any language, you see any coder, any programmer around the world, they were writing code in some sort of language, right? Either it's just a different language like Java, Python, C Sharp, and all those. So everyone is using IDE for every language. Okay, so you cannot just directly write a code on Notepad and run through it, because your Notepad code need to be transferred to the compiler, and then compiler need to take that code and process it. Okay, then after that, then after that, we are having one more thing, that is nothing but our installation. Along with the installation, what are the different IDs we were having, how they got evolved. Okay, how they got evolved, and what are the enhancement we all now have in our IDs, modern IDs, I can say that. Okay, so in that one, in this session, guys, we're gonna understand from the basic knowledge to bit of not that much advanced, but bit of advanced level knowledge. We're gonna go on to the ID. Here in this topic, we were having introduction to VS Code, but I'm gonna help you to understand any IDE. Okay, not just Visual Studio Code. If you're gonna use any other IDE tomorrow, you should be able to understand that what exactly the purpose of IDE. Okay, whenever someone asks you tomorrow that hey, which IDE you are using for your development, you should be able to make them understand in such a way that this IDE I'm using, these are the tools in that IDE I'm using, and those are very effective and all this. Okay. Um, just one second. Guys, you're not able to see my screen. I
Yes,
just
it's
shared.
visible.
It's visible, right? Thank you so much. And I hope I don't have any audio glitch even. Because, yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah. So what I was explaining is, let's start with our basic introduction for editors. Okay. So guys, as I was explaining that you seen that some of the coders are writing their program, basic program in Notepad, and they were running through it, right? So even though if you write your program in plain Notepad, there is no restriction. Okay, that's also a good scenario. But your Notepad need to transfer that code to compiler or some other uh, uh, process mechanism. Okay, so that's why we were having IDE. Okay, rather than picking up every individual software and then merging it and giving it to the compiler and uh, uh, to your converter. It's good to have a full-fledged software which gonna help you in your overall development. Okay, no, I'm not sharing anything. Don't worry about it. I'm not sharing. Once I'll share anything, I'll just take a confirmation from you guys. So I'm just explaining a theoretical knowledge, guys. Because why I'm explaining theoretical knowledge? Because if tomorrow you onboard into any company or any interview or any project, you not have any interface every time, right? So you should be able to understand theoretical knowledge first, so that even if you walk through, you can make someone understand that, yeah, this one I'm using. So that's why I'm just explaining you in some sort of theoretical manner, so that the plain layman language you can also explain to someone tomorrow. Okay, so I was talking about the IDE and Notepad and all those. Okay, if you take example of C Sharp, you are having Visual Studio. Okay, if you take example of Java, you are having NetBeans and other softwares you are having. Okay, so here what we were having is, we are having different IDE for different languages. Even you can utilize one IDE for multiple languages. Even it's not anything mandatory that you need to utilize specific IDE for specific language. No, it's not like that. Whichever you are comfortable, you should start with that one. Okay, so whenever someone gonna ask you, can you please tell me what exactly IDE is? Okay, so in a very layman language, in a very basic term, IDE is nothing, just a piece of software, just a piece of software that act as an editor for a developer. Okay, for a developer or whoever creator or whoever innovator, I can say that. Okay, so IDE and in IDE also, guys, sometimes, not every time I'm saying that, IDE sometimes are having compiler as well. Okay, attached to it, or otherwise you need to depend on separate compiler. Not every time your IDE is self-sufficient to run all sort of code. No, you either have to install some additional plugins, or if it's a full-fledged software, then it will be by default then and there itself. Okay, so if I'll just take example of IDE, then IDE like Visual Studio and all those are designed to make coding easier for developers. Okay, their interface, guys. Whenever I'm just talking about this term interface, that means whichever the tool you are interacting with. Okay, so tell me, for opening the www.google.com, which interface you are using, guys? You are using a browser, right? For opening the google.com or for opening the almamatter.com, you are using the browser, correct? Everyone agrees. For messaging and all those, you are using different tools. Like, if for our case, for messaging we were using Slack. That is our interface, right? So similar way. Okay, similar way, you are having interface in terms of editor as well. You can write your code, you can see it what I have written in a clean human readable format. Okay, guys, there are also two scenarios are there. One is the human readable format and one is the system readable format, right? So ID not bothered about the system readable format. Okay, whenever ID is interacting with you, first of all, whatever you're gonna write on ID, that gonna be taken up, and then finally given to the system and converted into non-human readable format. Okay, so how much space and how beautified code we were writing, guys, right? We were giving the enough space and all those. We were pressing the tab, we were pressing enter, new line, and all those. Okay, so that whenever tomorrow, if I'm gonna come and read my code again, I'm in a state to understand it. Okay, if you're gonna write everything on a single line, probably it would be difficult for you to understand. That all feasibilities IDE is giving you in terms of interface. Okay, so basically, an IDE is an application that facilitates application development and give you the central interface featuring all the tools that you need to run a basic code or sometimes advanced code as well. Okay, got it. So that is particularly about the IDE basic definition, right? Then, when we talk about an ID, guys, or ID or a code editor, anything, okay? A code editor that is designed to help you write and edit your code or someone else's code, or if you're working on team, how you can collaborate with different team members. Those also are defined inside your code editor. So consider a scenario, guys. Okay, consider a scenario that someone is developing a Google. Okay, someone is developing a Google.com. Not one person can manage everything, right? Not one person can write every code, correct? So in similar way, there are multiple members and multiple teams are involved in a single code, and everyone is having its own functionality. So if I'll take example, let me open any browser. Okay, this is the browser itself, right? Let me open simple google.com, okay, or just like a github.com. Okay, so some developers are writing the code for the nav bar, someone developers is writing for the left side code, right side code, and that's how. So how they are collaborating it with the bunch of code that they were getting it. Okay, the bunch of code that they were getting it and they are utilizing it. Okay, that's how you can utilize your IDE. Got it? My video is lagging. My screen sharing or something else. It is not right. Guys, please check your internet connection. I'm so sorry, but yeah, some of you it's working, some of you it's not working. So please check your internet connection and then it's going to be fine. Okay. Yeah. So when we talk about specifically on ID, as I mentioned, that it is designed to help you to write, edit your code or your team code. Okay. It also helps you to make more readable and clean, as I mentioned. Readable means human readable format. Okay. Along with that, sometimes, not every time, some IDs are very lightweight as well. Okay. So some IDs are full-fledged as well. So I'm going to talk about a full-fledged ID if I'll take example. A compiler in that one, IDE compiler, that transform code written by a human into machine readable format. As I already mentioned that whatever code that you are writing, so much of beauty, so much of clean spaces and all those, that code that you're writing is not properly understandable by your machine. Machine gonna convert everything into completely non-human readable format. Okay, non-human readable format. If they're gonna remove all the white spaces, every new line whenever you are pressing enter and they are writing something and then giving space. Compiler gonna remove everything. Okay, compiler gonna remove everything and start writing character by character. Got it? Character by character. Then after that, whenever we were our code gonna compile, how you can check it whether my code is running properly or not. Okay, how your code is running properly and or not, that you can check through debugger. Okay, that you can check through debugger. Okay, so debugger is one of the tool that every language and every ID, okay, ID is also having it. Okay, in that scenario, what you're having is whenever we talk about any language like JavaScript or Java and all those, in that case, what we are having a debugger which will help you to understand where code is breaking or whether my code is running correctly or not. And if I just wanted to validate, okay, if I just wanted to validate something, okay, how you can validate? Those all sort of scenarios can be understand through debugger. Okay, in a simple term, guys, in a simple term, just tell me one scenario is there. Okay, so one dynamic website. Okay, let me show you some dynamic content. Guys, tell me one example. Okay, just consider one example which is generating the dynamic content. Okay, so if I'll take example of LinkedIn, let's take example of LinkedIn. Every minute you're gonna come exactly. YouTube is also there, very good. YouTube, Twitter, those are dynamic content, right? Those are dynamic content. Every time they are generating the content. Okay, so do you think that someone gonna go every time and write code and then uploading it and then it's gonna be visible for you? No, it's not like that. Once they return the code in IE, they debugged it that yes, my code is working fine, and they are giving it to the production. And then your dynamic data is appending to it. So, as a developer, guys, debugger is very much mandatory, and I'm following this best practice, okay, to debug my code every time before giving it to someone. Consider a scenario that tomorrow you are using LinkedIn and some code gonna book up. Okay, some code is not responding and you are not able to see the data and something like that. That means that some developer return a code in such a way that is not tested properly. So as a developer, okay, as a developer, we have a responsibility that we need to debug, we need to validate our code in all possible manners. Okay, guys, a coder is not having just a responsibility to write the code in IE and give it away. No, it's not like that. There are a lot of tools, lot of good practices that we all are using, okay, for giving our code as a full-fledged, okay, code center. It's not like something someone said that, hey, can you please, okay, just take example, guys. Suppose you are writing code on JavaScript. Okay, someone asks you, can you please write a code on JavaScript, a Hello World program? So what you're gonna do? You simply return as Hello World, and how you gonna share to someone? How you gonna share to someone your code? You're gonna share as a file, right? Not a code. You're gonna share a file which gonna contain your code. And how you generated a file? How you generated a file? A file you generated through IDE. Okay, and how you concluded that yes, my file is ready? You saved it, you debugged it, you see your you see in your output that yeah, it's rendering correctly and my code is working now. Okay, so there are debugging skills, debuggers are there that we all need to follow it around for every code whatever we were writing. Okay, so that is pretty much about the basics of IDE. Now we're going to discuss about the compiler versus debugger. So guys, debugger not every time gonna ask, not everyone will ask that definition and all those, but understanding of compiler is very important. Okay, compiler understanding and all those is very important. Why? I'll just tell you. Not one language is having compiler. Every language or every software, not software, but yeah, language. Let's talk about the language. JavaScript, um, Java, C Sharp, Python, or anything. Okay, that all things, that all things are considered as a separate compiler for their own. Okay, so Python is having its own compiler, which gonna take your human readable code and give it to the Python language. Okay, can you guys write the same code that you return in JavaScript? Can you write the same code in Python or Java? No, right? It's not gonna work because the compiler is written in different way. Okay, compiler is written in different way, and that's how they are understanding. In a simple, in a layman term, I'll just tell you in a real time example. So suppose you are understanding two languages. Okay, if I'll take example of I'm understanding Hindi, English, and German. Okay, English and German I'm understanding, and you are understanding the French and some other language. Okay, then after that, if I'm going to talk to you in German, you'll not be able to understand. Correct? You'll not be able to understand the German. Okay, then after that, what you can utilize? You can utilize the same language that you are also understanding and I'm also understanding. Okay, that's what compiler is doing. So compiler will return for a specific language that they able to transcode and giving it to the browser or giving it to the system. Okay, not browser but system. Okay, so in similar way we were having for IDE as well. IDE compiler, and ultimately your machine which gonna execute your code. Those three components we were discussing today in detail. Okay, I hope I'm not going too fast, but if any questions is there, guys, feel free to keep up on the chat. Okay, Devanshu is there. We're gonna tackle every questions. If any time, if any point of time you wanna keep up any question or anything, keep up onto the chat, and we're gonna help you in every possible. Okay, it's not like just a delivering a content. In my session, you can utilize your chat in a full-fledged manner. Okay. Uh, mm, a lot of folks are saying that it's a voice issue, but some are saying that it's fine. So yeah, so yeah, I'll just help you. Don't worry about it. Debugger concept. And guys, after this session also, we're gonna have enough time to revise everything from start of this session. Okay, so we're gonna revise each and every concept again, summarize it. Okay, now yeah, so we're gonna discuss about the next part, that is nothing but compiler and debugger. Compiler and debugger. So, in that compiler and debugger scenario, guys, what we are understanding is, first of all, let's understand the compiler. So, the compiler converts the source code to equivalent machine code from the computer to understand and execute the task defined by the program. So, suppose in compiler means you have written a simple code. If everyone able to understand JavaScript or HTML or CSS or any other language, I'm not restricting just these three. If you have previous experiences on Java, C Sharp, how you are writing it, you are writing some code before that and some code after that, and in between you are writing hello world and all those, right? So why that is needed? Can you just write simple hello world? Just like you're typing someone a good morning. Can you write it? Will that work? No, right? That's not gonna work. Okay, because they need specifically a syntax. This syntax it is needed so that a compiler can understand, hey, this is my code and I'm gonna run it. Okay, that's why we were just following the syntax for every compiler. Okay, and guys, if you take example of compiler, every language is having its own compiler. That's why there is no name of the compiler. Okay, there's no name of the compiler. For some of the languages, yeah, compiler is also having name, but I'm just talking about generically. Okay, in this session we were not talking about any specific language, not any specific compiler, that we were having in our coming up sessions. Okay, but let's understand in a generic way. If today you wanted to work for a Python, but tomorrow you want to work for a JavaScript as well, then you should understand what exactly compiler is. Then you're going to say that, hey, XYZ compiler I'm using for Python and ABC compiler I'm using for JavaScript. Okay, so that's how I'm just making you understand that at least you get understanding for compiler and debugger in a generic way. Then I'm going to name some of the compilers and compilers and programs. Okay, so moving to this part, guys, difference between the compiler and debugger. So compiler converts the source code to machine code. Simple term. Whenever someone asks you that, can you please tell me what exactly compiler is? One line sentence. Convert human readable source code to machine code. That's it. It's just nothing but a translator. I'm keeping myself as such a way that I'm considering compiler is also a translator, which gonna take my handwritten code into system readable code. Okay, that we're gonna understand. Then after that then after that we were having debugger. Okay, so debugger also help you to identify the error. Okay, whether you are running correct code or not, and help it to fix them. Guys, every developer from the first day onwards has to know the debugger functionality, how to run the debugger, why we need a debugger. Okay, what are the advantages I'm going to get it if I do have a debugger configured. Okay, those things we were having. Okay, and then we were having then we were having another point for compilers that I'm going to explain. Convert high level programming language to low level programming language. Low level programming language means, guys, binary language we were all using, right? Binary language and all those we are using for our purpose. right? So in that case we were having this debugger and compiler. So compiler also takes onto the source code manner and give it to the binary language that your ultimately system gonna understand. Okay. Someone asked a question. I mean, yeah, this is a relevant question, but I can help you to explain that what is the difference between computer programming software. So guys, IDE is nothing but your software. Okay, IDE is nothing but a software. But the code that you're running on IDE is nothing but your computer program. Means set of instructions that you're telling it to that you're telling it to your compiler. Guys, how you're communicating with compiler, saying that hey, I'm writing my hello world code. Please execute it. Right? Please run it. Okay, means I'm giving set of instructions. I'm giving set of instructions to my compiler that you need to run through that way. Okay, and your software ultimately taking your instructions and giving it to some other software and then other software and so on. Okay, so computer program is simply a set of instructions that you are writing, and software is also some set of instructions which is ready for you to use. Okay, that's how it is defined. Okay, so yeah, I hope you understood this one. And now moving to the other part, as I mentioned that low level language. So whenever someone asks you that what exactly low level language is, it is nothing but a binary. I'm considering binary. Some other code is also written in it, but let's understand a binary one. Okay, got it. And then after that, debugger finds the error, log information. Okay, so tell me guys a simple scenario. Tell me tell me a scenario that how can someone check that whether the text written on this one is completely fine or not. Okay, is completely fine or not. Okay, whenever I'm just writing any text a b c x y z, how can someone check that with this text is completely capturing it? Once I press enter, this text is going to server and all those. How we were checking it? We were using debuggers for it. Okay, we were using debuggers for it to check that whether our code is written in correct manner or not. Okay, again I'm repeating, debugger is not always using for finding errors. Okay, it is using for logging the information. Okay, logging the information. Any website guys, I don't know whether GitHub is using that. Let me show you how they are logging the information. Anyone? This one. Everyone able to see this console, right? Here they were logging the informations and everyone, whatever it is. Okay, it's not just information. It's not just an error. All sort of information you can keep up in this console. Hey, Mayank type ABC XYZ. Hey, Mayank press enter, and so on. So all those sort of informations you can keep it around with this one. Okay, that is nothing but a part of your debugger. Now compiler is a software or a set of software. Multiple software programs are also involved in a one compiler, or it could be a one full-fledged software as well. Okay, and debugger, as I mentioned, that it is some sort of set of instructions that you are having to run through or to execute or to get the information from it. Okay, that is nothing but your debugger. Compiler converts the code at once. So whatever the instruction you are giving it, okay, it's gonna be compiled in a single shot. Okay, it's gonna be compiled. That's why most of the time you have to tell to your program that hey, I am debugging. Be ready with your compiled code. Okay. If I take example of your cooking, okay, so everyone is somehow cooking, right? So whenever you were cooking it, how you're testing it, first of all, when everything is done, we were just taking a spoon and we are checking if salt and everything is there or not. Okay, so we were just making some sort of a quality check that yeah, everything is fine. Similar way, whenever we were just keeping our code, we were pressing either debugger button or we were just writing debugger, saying that whether my code is running in a correct manner or not. Okay, whether my code is running in correct manner or not, and that is also includes my set of instructions that I return to it. Okay, That is nothing but your debugger. Debugger allows you to run your code step by step, one by one. Like the same way you are cooking it, you're keeping the ingredients one by one. The same way you are having for debugger as well. Okay, same way you are having for debugger as well. So step by step instructions you are giving to debugger, and debugger reading line by line code. Okay, not in a batch, not in a lump sum manner. So that's a primary difference between compiler and debugger. Compiler gonna execute all the code or all the instructions that you've given it in a single shot. But your debugger gonna go step by step, okay, line by line. Okay, exactly. You said it correct. Very good. A good explanation. I can say that debugger is used to check the logic of the code. Yeah, that's also one of the feature for debugger. Okay, got it. Then we were having language like C, C++ have its own compiler, okay, because they need to convert into low level language. GNU, GDB, Microsoft Visual Studio Debugger are some popular debuggers out there that you can utilize. Browser debuggers and all those also you can utilize, okay, that we were having. So till now we understood about the difference and all those in terms of compiler and debugger. Okay, then let's talk about, guys, why we need a debugger, why it got so much evolved that we need a debugger, or that we need an IDE, or that we need a compiler. Okay, so in that case what we were having is we are having some sort of enhancement. Okay, guys, if you take example of let's take example of your mobile. Okay, you're having mobile and a lot of apps are installed. Okay, a lot of apps are installed. You seen that, right? Not daily, but sometimes in a day or two you are getting your app updates. You are getting app updates and all those. Okay, so in that case what you're having, someone is updating the code and giving you some more enhancement to it. Okay, more advanced features included into it and all those. So initially, when everyone is writing the code and all those, they were using a simple notepad, simple sheet, simple text editor. Okay, they don't have any debugger involved into it. They don't have any tool which gonna tell that, hey, you are writing on a best practice manner. You are not writing on a correct manner. So guys, you know what, even though if you're writing a code, there are some best practices as a developer we need to follow. Okay, everyone is writing a code, guys. Every software developer capable of writing the code. But what is the difference between good developer and some sort of new developer? Okay, or I can say the unmanaged developer. Okay, that is nothing but a clean code, best practices that you're following in your software. Okay, that's how you can differentiate. In a previous days, if I just take example of 15 years back, or suppose 20 years back, no one is having that much advanced tools that they can utilize for their development and all those. They are simply writing it, then saving it, then manually pasting onto the compiler folder, and then running the compiler, and then compiler is converting to machine language code, and ultimately machine is picking up from their folder, and so on. This is so hectic process. Okay, you cannot just write a code, but every step you are also following by yourself, saving the file, and keeping up into the folder so that your machine can read it, or something like that. A very step by step procedure. That's why IDE comes into the picture. IDE comes into the picture in such a manner that a developer should not bother about the compiler process, and giving the set of instructions to the software and all those. Okay, that's why. So, as in definition says that evolution of editor, you could say that coding was text only, and that's correct. You are writing on text man only. Any code, any language, any tool you want to take it up, those were written initially on a plain text only mode. Okay, but developer used to write code in a text editor like Notepad and Visual Studio Code. If you take example of some other tools, okay, that you are aware of. So usually developers writing and save application editor with various extensions like .java, .js, .html, .cs and all those. Correct? We all aware of it. That if you seen that in the college days or something like that, we were just saving the plain file .java and then we were using it, right? Then we were running through the Java file and then we were running some command lines and all those. So in a simple way, when we are having this one, we can utilize IE for that. Okay, and then we in that particular code like Java, JS, HTML, we can utilize our debugger to it. Okay, so that we can check, yes, the set of instructions that I return, those are correct. Now, over time, these various activities started to get backed into the coding environment and become more automated. So, guys, nowadays, if you heard about it, a lot of automated softwares are there which gonna tell you that, hey, Mayank, you're not writing good practice code. No, Mayank, you should not create unused variables. You should not leak the memory of the software. And those all sort of automated software. Whenever I'm writing line by line, they are reading my code and they are telling me the instructions that no, Mayank, you should write this code in such a manner. You should not use the unused variable. Okay, you should not use variable names such like this or something like this. Okay, we as a developer, I don't know everyone, but I'm just taking up an example. Everyone is using for loop I, j, a, b, c, x, y, z and all those, right? What does it mean? If tomorrow you're gonna leave and if tomorrow you're gonna leave and some other developer gonna say that, "Hey, what is the meaning of I? What is the meaning of this one?" So those all things gonna instructions is automated nowadays on ID, saying that please keep proper naming convention, utilize some best practices, and so on. Okay, and so on. Got it? Then after that, Visual Studio we are having various activities started to get back into the coding environment and become more automated, as I mentioned it. Just a click of button and you are ready to go to deploy your code, run your code, debug your code, and check the output for it. Okay, Microsoft is having its first IDE that is nothing but Visual Basic. Okay, Visual Basic was the first real IDE, and later many companies developed different IDEs. So different IDEs like if I take an example of NetBeans, we have all used JetBrain and all those. So those are different companies that is running different IDEs for their different development program. Okay. Now, when we talk about command line editors, guys, okay, we all aware right now here we were writing in human readable format, but there are some scenarios where we need to give instructions in a command line as well. Okay, everyone's seen a lot of hacker movies, right? A lot of hacker movies. They're using some black screen and typing something. What exactly means? Are they writing code? No, right? They are not writing code. They are writing some sort of set of instructions onto the specific window. Okay, so similar way when we have IDE and all those, similar way we are having command line interface or command line editors as well. Okay, in that one, if I just take example of any editor, they are having more eye-catchy or more user interactive interface, right? So if I take example of any ID, they are having proper buttons are there, proper arrange. If I just take example of this website, let's just take example of this website only, guys. Okay, here you can clearly say that this black bar is some sort of menu where you need to have your profile menu and all those. Okay, here and bottom right hand side you all having your repository and all those, right? Here in this case you are having different scenarios and all those. So they kept it specifically a place for everything. Okay, they kept a place. Okay, right? Then what you are having is there is no GUI for that editor. Okay, so there are two different processes are there. One is ID, which is having a good interface, and the another one is for the command line interface. Okay, that is this one. Remix ID. Yeah, you can say that Remix ID is also one of it. Like command prompt PowerShell, very good. Yes, you said it correct. We are having command prompt shell web3 and all those. Okay, then we were having this one. Okay, Git bash is also one of the thing. Very good. Yes, you said correct. Git bash is also one of terminal. Yes, Visual Studio Terminal is also one of the command line interface, which is not having ID. Whatever you are doing, just writing and simply pressing enter. That means that you are having the simple command line interface. IntelliJ, I feel that it's not a command line interface, it's some sort of a IDE. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna explain, guys. Don't worry. We were having agenda, as I mentioned. That first of all, we're gonna understand evolution of editors, and then we're gonna see the installation as well. We're gonna see everything in action, guys. I'm not talking everything on theoretical manner. Okay. So first of all, understand the features, and then I'm gonna show you the IDE and all this installation and everything. Okay. Yeah. So in that one, we were having ID and all those and command line. So tomorrow someone asks you that, hey, you need to run a code on command line interface. Then what you gonna do? Okay, what you gonna do? You simply gonna take it as any command line interface and write the code on that. Okay, and that's how you need to utilize the command interface. Okay, now if you are saying that, let me show you the content based on this one. Just 1 second. Okay, let me show you the ID now. Okay, so now I'm considering that, guys, it's very simple instructions for running the ID. So we are taking advantage of Visual Studio Code. Okay, so you can simply download the Visual Studio Code from this official website and you can install it. It's very simple instruction that everyone can follow it around. Okay, got it? Yeah, so here in this one we're going to talk about now, guys. We are now taking parallel things. We're going to see this in action as well, and we're going to see in theoretical manner as well. Okay, so that at least you can understand in more detailed way. Okay, now as you can see that you are having editor as well, command line interface also you learned it, and simple ID definition you also learned it. Okay, and now uh, one thing I missed it. I'm so sorry, but I'm going to repeat it again. That in ID is nothing but integrated development environment. Okay, so integrated development environment, that is nothing but a lot of plugins are involved into it, which gonna help your development faster and productive, as I mentioned. Okay, consider a day that you are writing a very good code and your system itself, your ID itself is telling you, no, man, you should beautify this code. You should write this code in more effective manner. Okay, in more effective manner. Okay, so this is so good, right? You don't need to depend on anyone, and your ID itself is telling you, reading your code and saying you the best practices and all that. That's also very good advantage of it. Okay, so guys, you can based on different environment and different um, yeah, I'm recommending Visual Studio Code for your different environment, that I'm just telling it. So if you are using Windows environment, install it based on your bit. If you're using 64-bit, 32-bit ARM and all those, right? If you're using Linux environment, you can utilize Debian and RPM, right? Then this one. And if someone is using Mac one, they can also install. It's very simple instruction, just next and setting up a basic Visual Studio code gonna be ready for you. Okay, and I'm gonna take. If you want more, there is a detailed document shared with you, everyone, that you can take from there as well. Step by step instructions to install. Okay, so this website, code.visualstudio.com/download, you can utilize to download a specific Visual Studio code in your system. As it is also clearly mentioned that it's a free, built, and open source integrated Git debugging and extension. Okay, that is what it means. Already downloaded, very good. If you already downloaded, that's a good part. I'm considering that everyone can download and install their system. Very good. Now, guys, if you downloaded and if you set it up in your system, that's also good. Okay. Now let's understand that how you can utilize in a more advanced way. Your ID is set up. Your ID is set up, but how you can utilize in a more advanced way. Those all things we will discuss it around. Okay. Got it? So let me show it to you. Let me open a simple ID for you. Okay. Let me open a simple IDE for you. Okay, as you can see that, okay, this code is already there. Do not worry about it. First of all, we're gonna understand. Okay, as you can see that, guys, this is the IDE. Okay, this is the IDE. In that one, you see that there is a portion for everything. Okay, there is a specific portion for everything. You all are having file, edit, selection, view, go, run onto the top hand side. Okay, top bar. Left hand side, you are having specific instructions for source control, how many files you are having, if you wanted to search anything, if you wanted to keep up the source control means, suppose you are suppose you are in global team. Okay, suppose you are in global team, and one of your team members residing or sitting on different country. So how you both can manage the same code? Are you transferring on WhatsApp? No, right? So that's why it's gonna maintain the common code base for all of you. So those are different extensions and all those that we were having over here. Then we were having run and debug that you can utilize. Then we were having extensions where you can utilize different extension is similar way, guys, like you're having your mobile phone, you are using different apps for different functionality. You are using for reading purpose, you are using some apps. For messaging purpose, you are using this one and all those. Okay, so those all things can be considered inside the IDE. Now I'm going to help you to explain one by one everything. Okay, one by one everything. Okay, now let's understand from the first part, guys. Okay, let's understand from the first part that how the features that this ID can give us. Okay, so as mentioned in document as well, and this one I'm gonna mention here at as well. So guys, as you can write it, okay, see that. Okay, let me go to any simple program. I'm writing a simple code. Okay, just a paragraph or something strong. strong. See that I just pressing one simple close one and it automatically closed. Did I return this code? No, I didn't return this code. I didn't return this code. This automatically kept it based on the intelligence that Mayank is writing strong means Mayank need a close brace as well. This automatically intelligence, and that's how we were calling it intelligence. Okay, this feature you're not gonna get it in your um, plain a notepad or any sublime editor and all those if you're using it, right? Atom and all those. Got it? So those all things is not needed for now. So that's what is intelligence. Lot of ID guys is having an intelligence feature which every developer is needed. As a quick example, I'll just take whenever I'm just taking a session or any interviews and anything. Usually, students or interviewees asking that can I please use IDE, and I'm saying that no, you cannot use IDE because I just wanted to know that whether you are aware of syntax or not. Okay, not everywhere you're going to get the IDE, guys. Most of the places you need to run your code on a plain notepad as well. Okay, plain notepad as well. That's why I'm just help you to explain that you should aware both of the difference, plain IDE or text editor and advanced IE as well. So that's why I'm just explaining. I know this is a bit a theoretical part and it is not generating that much of confidence, but that was the reason for it. That's what the reason behind that I'm just teaching everyone so that if tomorrow, if you're going to give interview, they're not going to give you ID every time. Okay, make sure in your mind. Okay, so keep up the difference, and we were talking about the features, right? Features of ID. So smart code editing, as you can see that now if I'm gonna keep up, if I'm gonna keep something over here, paragraph, okay, and it automatically gonna take that whether mine should open it as well and mine should close it as well. Okay, so those sort of basic features, smart coding like code lines and all those, word braces, spacing. How far, guys? Did I kept it any formatting? Did I kept any space? This much space? Did I kept any this much space? Did I kept any new line or anything? No, I didn't did. This browser is giving me this beautification. Browser is giving so that mind you can understand that this tag is belongs to this particular portion belongs to that, and all those. It is more beautifying it. Okay, and also highlight the keywords. So as you can see that here your HTML is in bitten red, but rest of the tags are bitten I don't know, dark red or something, what color it is. Okay, so those all things are involved in this manner, and that is nothing but smart code editing feature. Debugger I have already shown you, and I'm going to show you in action as well. Most powerful feature that you can consider for your for IDEs, that is nothing but a debugger. Graphical debugging capabilities are very very good to to um, to any developer who gonna write a full-fledged code for them, right? That's how it's gonna be. Now moving to the next part. Okay. Now moving to the next part and next feature, we were having version control that I was just mentioning it, guys. Mentioning it that if your team member, one of your team member, is sitting on some different country and you both are working on same code, okay, both are working on same code. How you gonna collaborate? How you gonna collaborate with the same code? Okay, you can utilize through Git source control. Source control means same code base and you are running on different. If I take example of this, if I take example of this, just one second, just one second. Okay, Chrome itself, GitHub itself. Tell me, do you feel that guys only one developer did this entire website for GitHub? You felt it? No, right? No, no, nobody did that. Someone worked for header part, someone worked for left hand side portion, someone worked for right hand portion, someone worked for center portion, and all those, right? So how they are collaborating? Because right now you are seeing as a one software, right? How they collaborated means they were working on different projects, different set of code, and they completely merge it and giving it to you a full fledged software which you can interact with. Okay, which you can interact with. Got it? And this one. Now one more thing, very very good part is, guys, okay, so suppose if I'll take example of Android devices. Okay, if I'll take example of Android devices, some are having very good camera, okay, but the camera by default camera is not having a lot of filters are there. Okay, lot of filters are there. So in that one what we need to do is, okay, we were installing extra camera app which is having a lot of, if I'll take example of Snapchat itself. Okay, so Snapchat is having a lot of filters which our native cameras are not having. Okay, correct. So we were using based on our different requirement, different apps are there. Similarly in terms of id Similarly in terms of id, we were having different extension, as you can see that. And all around the world different developers are using return this extension, see that. Who returned the debugger for Firefox? Let's see. Who returned this Firefox dev tool team? They are the owner of this particular extension. Okay, they are created this extension and giving it to everyone. Similarly, if you go for another extension, it's just like a market, guys, where lot of extensions you're gonna find for a lot of functionalities. ESLint is there, Git Lens is there, and whatnot. If I'm gonna search for um, beautify code or minify code, simply I just press enter. Minify code. As you can see that minify for Visual Studio, minify for Hooky QR, and whatnot. Different extensions I'm gonna getting it. Okay, so that's why it is written in such a way that, okay, yeah. So um why, yeah, someone is asking a good question that I need to repeat, and I just wanted to answer it. Why someone is asking that why people hire a developer when so many no code applications are available, builders and all those guys. So everyone is having its own requirement. It's not something everyone wants. See, guys, suppose you are building your own house, right? You are building your own house and you are having you bought a flat in an apartment, but are you keeping the similar stuff that your neighbor is also keeping it up? Are you using it that? So suppose that your neighbor kept the chair onto that direction, okay, and your neighbor kept a chair onto the hall or living area, something else. Are you keeping on the same thing as well? Because your requirement is something different. Okay. somehow your requirement, your configuration is not fulfilling, okay, not fulfilling that everyone else or any readily available code is giving it to you, right? So that's why coders are needed to customize based on requirement, okay, understand the user need and build based on that. That's what the magic of a good programmer and coder. Okay, so someone is using which extension that we all need to know. So that I'll just help you to explain which primary extension we all need to install it. Okay, that we all need to install and we all need to use it. Okay, so that I'm just help you to explain it. I'm gonna help you to explain. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna tell you which are the different extensions that you all need to utilize for. Okay, not sometimes all extensions are, yeah. So as Visual Studio Code is open source, whoever need to keep up their extensions, they should also release in an open source manner. Okay, so that's how it will be. Got it? And extension plugin manager, I already explained it. So now everyone be aware of the difference between IDE and general text editor. Now, tell me guys, after understanding this one, now you aware of it, right? Why we should use an IDE when we code it? Because a lot of good features which gonna save our time. Do you feel that for beautifying the code I need to spend so much time? I need to highlight this one, I need to understand. You know what, a simple developer, sorry, a simple notepad editor won't give me the references. As you can see that the head element represent a collection of metadata. So much information I'm getting it over here itself. Okay, title, a title should represent a lot of information that we were having that you can utilize for your own purpose. Your normal editor won't give it. Okay, got it? Yeah, so yeah, I'm just talking about how to download. I already told you this one, that how you need to download, how you need to install it, from where you need to install it. If any issues there, guys, possibly you can follow the article that we given it to you. How you need to run it, how you need to install it. How, if in worst case some code is breaking it up, how you need to debug or how you need to troubleshoot that one. Okay, got it? So now let's understand the first part, guys. Okay, in that one, as you can see that first of all, we're gonna understand the top bar. Okay, first of all, we're gonna understand the top bar. File, any new file you're gonna create, any new file, new window, okay, new window, and you can your duplicate a workspace as well. So if you are working as a team, that can be considered as a workspace. Okay, yeah, so that one different option is there. All right, and then you can have save as, auto save, and all those features which is involved into it. Then we were having preferences as well, guys. Some developers like dark mode, some developers like light mode. Based on this, your preference, it's not just color combination, guys. Again, I'm just saying, it's not just color combination. Okay, you are having different preferences. Okay, you are having different preferences based on your user needs. So everyone, if I'll take example of your Facebook profile, someone keep up the photo of scenic view, like a lot of mountains are there, okay, river is there and all those, but someone's having their own DP portrait mode. Okay, someone wants to keep up with their own group, so they are having their own preferences. That's why they are setting their own profile. Similar way, when we talk about IE as well, we are having our own preferences. That's why we were having different color combinations out there, different keyboard shortcuts are there, okay, different snippets are there. So suppose tomorrow, if I say that I don't want to spend that much of time, see that, guys, I'm just clearing everything. Okay, tomorrow I created simple, hold on, sample.html, I'm creating simple. Do I have any code? Do I have any code? Do you think that I need to write this much of code from scratch? I mean, this is a good practice, but just for a safer side. Just for a safer side, when I become a good developer and I just wanted to save a lot of time, I simply create a shortcut for me. I can simply create a shortcut for me and boom, my structure is now ready. Okay, everyone able to see that my structure is now ready with this much of code. So Yeah, you can use boilerplate. Exactly. You can use boilerplate for that one to save your code. But not every time, guys. I'm not recommending every time to use boilerplate, because someday you will be responsible to create your own boilerplate. Do you think that from the first Google got the basic boilerplate for Angular? No, right? They created everything from scratch. Okay. So boilerplate is readily available, some sort of code, guys. A basic readily available code so that you can start from that. Okay, so that you can start from that. A boilerplate is any some sort of readily available instructions that you can continue with that one. Okay, so yeah, I guess we're gonna understand this one, guys, line by line, file options and all those preferences and everything on detail. But yeah, that we can. Hope everyone enjoyed their water break. Okay, so let's continue. So we were understanding that what are the different options that any ID, okay, any ID that you're using, okay, that you're using, those options that you can utilize for your own purpose. Okay, so new file is there, new new file, a new window. New window means it's gonna create a separate window which you're gonna utilize for different purpose. I'm sorry, different purpose and all this. Okay, here these options, we were having different things, guys. If you want to enable autosave and all those, you can enable it, right? So the primary thing is that preferences. Okay, in that one we are having different settings is there, settings. Okay, extensions is there, which extensions I need to involve with. Okay, minify, and these are different possible scenarios are there. Okay, and here you can make your changes that will be applicable on your own system, that you can reset any time. So keyboard shortcut or anything, there are a lot of keyboard shortcuts are there that you're all aware of it, right? A lot of keyboard shortcuts are there, and here cursor and whatnot. There are tons of software that I'm even not able to recall. Okay, so that's what we were having for simple file option. Then based on that, edit. Okay, we were having undo, redo option, cut, copy, paste, find in files. Okay, so if I'm just consider it, guys, consider it that if I'm having document in this one as well. Okay, document in this one, or document one, suppose I just written suppose sample document. Here I just written for you, and here sorry, I don't know why it is happening. I'm gonna go and file, save. Okay, now I return simple title, not hello world. I'm gonna write index document. Sorry for typo mistake. Document. Okay, index document. Now I'm gonna save it, and if now I'm gonna press save. Okay, now if I'm gonna go and press on search and press document. Okay, which two files that I'm having? Okay, which two files we were having for HTML. Document is also here, index document is there in this one. So if any point of time you want to find any specific code for your source code, you can utilize this search option. There is no shortcut for it. You have lens icon onto the left hand side, lens icon. So this lens icon will help you to find it. Okay. Yeah, this is a live preview only. Yeah, I'm gonna help you with live preview. Don't worry about it. Okay. Then third one is nothing but your extension part. Okay, extension part here. So in edit, you understood that replace and toggle, block comment, line comment, and all those. Everything is different option that you can utilize for. Then selection we were having, add cursor above, add cursor line down, and all those. Those are different selection and all this. If I'm just keeping up selection, then I'm go to selection. Okay, expand selection. See that these are different options we were having for selection. Primary functionalities over here: view, command palette, open view, appearance, large, full screen mode, or something like that. Okay, centered layout, show menu bar, show secondary sidebar, show panel, panel position, everything you can set it up across. Explorer, editor layout, okay, editor layout, split left, split right, split in group, two column, whichever you are comfortable with. Okay. So someone is asking, is this search will only search within the exactly and within the existing project, existing folder where you are creating it, not entire system. No, it's not a file search, or it's not an entire folder search. It's just the folder that you're using it. Which folder we were using, guys? What's the folder name? What's the folder name over here? It's nothing but hello world. Okay, it's nothing but a hello world folder name, exactly. And inside this folder, whichever number of files are there, it's gonna search all the files to it. Okay. Yeah. So here, moving to the next part that we were having here is view. So why I'm just considering view is because there are a lot of options that you're finding it: problem, output, debug console, terminal, word wrap. Okay, everything you're gonna find it out in new view option. That's why view option is very important. Command palette is there. So guys, if you're gonna open the add browser breakpoint, add cursor above, add cursor, any point of time code, whatever number of extension you are using, everyone able to see that I have installed source control git. Okay, if I'm not gonna type git, see that how many options I have available for git. Git add to ignore, git latest dash, and all of these, all command line from where I got, from this extension. Which extension means git extension, this command. So guys, this is a common command line interface. Okay, common command line palette or common command line interface or palette, which gonna help you to combine all sort of available commands that you can run through for a specific program. Okay, then you are having finally go option, which is having go to definition, go to declaration, go to references, go to line and column, and all those sort of scenarios. Okay, last edit location where I edited, and all those. Okay, now help is nothing but help is also there. Terminal is also there. So terminal will help you to run all sort of code. Please show direct option of word wrap. Yeah, I can show you. So consider it, guys. Consider you are writing a huge text. Okay. Let me take up a sample text. Let me take up a sample text. I'm just typing Lawrence. Okay, let me take a sample text from here. Okay, let me take this text. Yeah, I can repeat. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna revise everything. Okay, don't worry about it. Last 15 minutes, we only have a complete revision, whatever we have gone through. And in that one, I'm gonna take your question, all of it. Okay, so here I'm just taking up the text and simply go to this one and pasting to here. Okay, pasting in paragraph. Okay, by default, as you can see that by default, word wrap is enabled in this one. If I'm not going to enable word wrap, you need to scroll, guys. You need to make a horizontal scroll. Everyone able to see at the bottom? You are having horizontal scroll that you need to scroll to the right every time. So much text is there. So what happen if you enable word wrap? View word wrap option is there, alt plus Z. You no need to have the horizontal scroll, so that you can just read in a single shot. Okay, yeah, got it. Now we were having, guys, new file options here as well. New folder, you can create folder inside folder, you can refresh it as well. Okay, and then you can minimize and expand. These are options we were having for ID. Open editor. Okay, open editor we are having. So how guys, what open editor gonna tell you? How many files are open in this one? Index.html and cs.html, right? And this one extension. If I'm gonna close everything, see, yeah, okay, see. If I'm gonna close everything, right? I don't have any file left out. You see that? I don't have anything on my open editor. Now I'm just opening again index.html. See that? It is having this one. So here you can utilize for your open editor how many files you have opened. Sometimes you have to, if you are having multiple files, you can see it from here as well. Okay, you can see it from here as well. Got it? Yeah. So this one we were having for this one we were having for creation of file and then sidebar and all this. Now let's talk about the very important topic, guys. Okay, extension and debugging capabilities. So any program is just not running with this debugger. Okay, you need to customize it. Okay, customize, run and debug. Create a launch.json. Okay, how to enable mouse zoom and zoom out, unable to change settings, setting.json. Zoom in, zoom out means in what this one? This one, code zoom in, zoom out. So code code zoom in, zoom out. There is a separate configuration for that, right? Yeah, control plus code. So right now I'm not using mouse, so I'm just using touchpad. So possibility it is different for me. Yeah. So run and debug. As you can see that which environment I just need to use Chrome. Okay. I'm gonna utilize this one, and it's gonna run my program. Everyone able to see that? This text only I return, right? Everyone able to see that? This text only I return. So it clearly run my program. It clearly run my program with no configuration. I didn't set that I need to run on you have to run on this configuration or not. No, I didn't mention anything. Okay, I didn't mention anything. Got it? So this is what we were having for run. But guys, most of the time we were not using this run. Actually, we were having some other runners as well that I'm gonna help you to explain which extension we were using it. Okay, so just 1 second. Let me stop this. Okay, and here, if you know what happened, if you're gonna utilize Node.js and all those some other different languages, this run gonna help you to debug those software. But plain index.html, plain CSS, plain JavaScript file is not needed that much. Okay, not needed that much. Got it? So we have understood about this one. Now moving to the extension part. Okay, moving to the extension part. So till now we made you to understand that what exactly different options we were having: file, edit, selection, view, go, run, and terminal and help. Help is nothing but whenever someone asks you that, hey, which version you are using for, which version you are using for your um, uh, this one, Visual Studio Code, you can go to release note and check your version specifically. Okay, you are currently running on 1.66.2. Okay, you are running on this version. Are you updated? Yes, I'm updated completely. Yeah, so this help gonna give you the interface. So right now in the center you are having editor window. Okay, this this white portion that you are having here, this is nothing but that I'm just highlighting this one. This is nothing but your workspace, and this one is nothing but your activity bar. This one is nothing but the black portion. The vertical black portion is nothing but your activity bar. Okay, and finally you are having files name, toolbars, and all those. Okay, so we were having different options here. You can see it into the document as well. Now, as I already mentioned that what different command prompts we were having, opening the file, change the file, and all those. Those all things were involved into command prompt. Guys, tell me how to open command palette. From which option I need to click? From which option I need to click to enable the command palette? No, not from terminal. Not from terminal. View. Okay, very good. It's nothing but your view. Control Shift P will help you to open the command palette and command terminal. Okay, got it? Very good. Yeah. So till here we were having the understanding of layout and all those, right? Now when we talk about the very important extensions, right? Okay, as a good coder, I'm just suggesting you some sort of extension that you all have to install in your system. Okay, Which one? Let's understand the first one, that is live server. Guys, tell me, you are. I don't know whether you guys are aware of or not, but if you're not aware, don't worry, I'll help you to explain. Tell me, oh, just one second. Just 1 second. Let me and let me go to run. Guys, tell me, is this a valid URL? With Are you opening google.com something like this one? How you're opening Google something like this one? HTTPS double slash www.com, sorry, www.google.com. That's how you're using it, right? This is a file system, guys. You are directly picking up from the file system. This is a location: C drive, users, administrator, desktop, hello world folder, then final index.html. But I don't need these sort of folder. I don't want to show anyone where I'm just working, in which folder I'm working. How to check it, guys? You can utilize one extension, very good extension, um, that we all are using is nothing but live server. Everyone able to see this? Everyone able to see this? Live server from the Quick Day. Okay, this will help you to enable the code on this one. Once you install it, everyone, once you install this one, you are having go live option at the bottom. Okay, go live option at the bottom. This is the extension that you all need to use. Like, then, as we already can I click now on this one? Hold on. Let me close. Let me close. Let me go to index.html. Let me go to go live option. Okay, see that I'm clicking go live option, and where did it went? Everyone able to see that same URL, same URL, but not open with 127.0.0.1 and some port number and then index.html. Same URL that it got utilized on different one. Okay, got it? Same URL. So now nobody knows that which folder I'm working, which particular drive I'm working, and what is my username. Okay, so that's what the difference we were having for live server means server URL and file system URL. Okay. Um, can we share exactly? No, guys, this is your local. Okay, this is your local. This is your local. Once you host onto some server, which right now this is accessible to me only because this is my local. Guys, this IP 127.0.0.1 is nothing but my personal IP. Okay, my system IP. It's localhost. Very good. It's nothing but localhost. Okay, so until unless you cannot host onto the global platform, it not be there. Okay. It's, yeah, you can say that is this one loop back, or we are simply calling it as a local host. Okay, we are simply calling it as a local host. Got it? Yeah. So as I was just explaining, yeah, um, I'm gonna revise, guys. Just final thing, extension part, and I'm gonna keep up the revision. Okay, I'm gonna keep up the revision because we are already done with the topic. Okay, so now we are by having one more extension, guys. Please install everyone that live server, prettier code format. Okay, and then you are having some other extensions, that linting, guys. Linting also, please everyone install it. But I'm just recommending it. Lint means it's gonna give you some sort of instructions that, hey Mayank, you should clean up your code. Okay, you should write this code in more detailed way, more good way, or something like that. So if you're gonna type ESLint, LINT, you're gonna find lot of Microsoft ENT list extension, JavaScript linting, JS lint, ES lint. Okay, so those all things you can utilize. These three extension will help you to start with any primary development. Okay, any primary development. Got it? Yeah. So I'm going to repeat the extension one more time. In that extension, you are having lot of readily available functionality, which you can utilize for your own development and best code scenarios. Okay, got it? So extensions, guys, based on your that extension is also, my system is having a lot of extension because I'm using it. Okay, your system can have only limited extension because you are not rigorously using it, and that's why. Okay, ESLint is nothing but help you to show you that Mayank, you should write this code in this manner. You should not memory leak and all those. Guys, it is giving you some sort of instructions to follow the best practice. The simple, exactly, prettier for code format. Okay, ESLint is for just telling you that you should follow this mechanism. You should follow this mechanism. Okay, got it? Okay. Example of ESLint. Yeah. So ESLint is already installed, right? ESLint is already installed. Let me open. Let me create any JavaScript file. So that's why I'm not jumping into the JavaScript file directly. But if you wanna create a simple JavaScript file, sample or script.js. Sorry for typo mistake. Let's go to rename script.js, and I'm gonna write document. See that? If I'm gonna hover var document, it is recommending me, Mayank, you should write var document, not directly document. Okay, var document. Then it is saying that exactly, Mayank, you should write this one. Okay, document type. Got it. What else? You should write this one, and then it's gonna give me the error. Interface document. Any web page. Any web page loaded with the browser serves an entry for DOM type. Those all sort of instruction you are getting from ESLint. Lint, it's just a word. Yeah, linting is just a word. Linting is a process to clean up a code and all this, right? So lint is just a word. You said correct. Okay, got it? Yeah. So this is we were having for this one. And now everyone able to see that we were having terminal at the bottom. So if this terminal is very, very useful, guys, once you start debugging and all those. So in that terminal, I'm gonna help you. If any code is having problem, guys, see my code is having problem. Type annotation can be only used in TypeScript file. Okay, type annotation. This annotation not gonna work in JavaScript. Okay, no problems is there. If any problem that you're having is in your workspace, it gonna mention over here itself. Okay, then you are having an output. Whatever output that you just keeping it based on a different task, extension, get, prettier, ESLint. Those output gonna help you to keep up this one. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna explain the debugging, just a simple debugging. I'm gonna help you to explain. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, so simply you can say that output gonna help you to print the output over here, and debug console, very very important, guys. Not every time you are using the debug over here. So if any point of time you just want to evaluate something, you can utilize this one. But the most important thing that we were using is terminal and problems. Okay, terminal for running the command, to executing the command on your workspace. This one gonna help. Here you can create multiple terminals based on your usage and all those. Okay, based on your usage and all those. What is difference between compiler and interpreter? Yeah, I'm gonna help you to explain. So let's finish up this topic first, and then we can discuss that compiler and interpreter as well. Okay. Yeah. So this particular thing, as you can see, that line number one, line of column 14, spaces, how many spaces that I'm having, and then select end of the line sequence, which language I'm using, JavaScript, port 15500, and prepare that one. So those all sort of different terminologies that we were using for this one, and this is it. Now consider it. Consider it. Suppose you are writing a simple debug. How to debug, guys? Okay. So I'm just help you to explain first of all using simple. Just one second. Okay, I'm gonna help you to explain using simple JavaScript. Okay, so let me keep up this one. Let me open, guys. IDE also, IDE is also needed. Okay, But how you can run difference between that one, I'll just also help you to explain. Just 1 second. I'm just setting up the environment, okay, for you. What was that script got useful? File, save. Okay. Now let me keep up a simple alert. For now, 3. Simple alert and save. Okay. Now let's go to browser. Now let's go to browser. Okay, and I'm going to run. Okay, let's see whether now guys see that how you can debug, how you can check whether my file is completely appended or not. Okay, someone wants to check that how I appended my script and all this. So I can simply go to browser, simply go to body, and simply write script. As you can see that here, it is having script. Right click and I am making it open new tab. Yeah, it is having code, right? It is having my code, correct? So in that one, live server or live produce same will work. Yeah, live server will work. Live server will work, but right now we are not dependent on live server. That is already running. Live server is already running in 127 dot 127.0.1 and this one, right? So first of all, let's understand why we were having issue and all those over here. Okay, so we kept a simple alert, and then it is not. It is running, but somehow it is not affecting it. Okay, somehow it is not affecting it, or somehow it is not utilizing it. So let me write some code. Oh, sorry. One more thing is there. Okay, let's understand the code. So what mistake I did? Can anyone tell me? And guys, during the session, I'm making an intentional mistakes even. Okay, so please correct me. Please correct me. I'm making some intentional mistake that at least you can see your code and you can help me with that. Okay, so for now, I'm just telling. I just simply made a mistake that's not JS. We are writing Java. JS. It's this one. This one. Okay, so now I'm gonna go here, simple file, save, and where it is. Everyone able to see that? Everyone able to see that you are having 1, 2, 3 coming up, right? Everyone able to see that 1, 2, 3 is coming up. Yeah. So now this is a part of simple. Now let's see the debugger. Now let's see the debugging mechanism. Okay. Now let me show you. Let's go to our Visual Studio Code simply, and let's write one alert. Okay, after 2 seconds, let's write set timeout. I'm just writing a very basic function, guys. Okay. 3 seconds. Let's keep up 3 seconds. Okay, or not 5 seconds. Let's keep up 5 seconds. 5,000 means 5,000 milliseconds. Okay, 5,000 milliseconds. Now here I'm just saying alert hello from AlmaBetter. Okay, sorry for typo. Save it. Okay, now let me save it. File. And guys, let me keep up a debugger now. Let me keep a debugger. D-U-B-double debugger. This word, guys, we have to write it for JavaScript. Simply, you can write this word and go to file, save. Okay, go to file and save. Simply, you will be able to see this one in action. Everyone able to see that it hit after 5 seconds. It got hit after 5 seconds, and now I'm just keeping up here step by step, one step, one step, and it is showing alert and this one. Okay. and finally run. But now, what if someone is having your code, or you are running on production mode? Guys? Consider it, you are running on production mode and you don't have access to the code now. How you can debug? You don't have access to a code, and then how you can debug? Okay, so then how we can utilize is, yeah, then how we can utilize simply, just see this. Guys, I'm not talking about any I'm not talking about any coding language and all those. Don't worry about it. Don't focus on coding for now. Okay, don't focus on coding. We will see the coding in action. Okay, but let's understand this one for now. Okay, so here, see that, suppose you don't have this code, someone return this code. Okay, someone return this code. Sorry. Someone return this code and save it. Save. Okay, now your code is successfully running. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello from AlmaBetter. Now I just wanted to debug. So you know what? For existing code, how you can debug? Simply make a right click, guys. Simply make a right click on your browser. Okay? Simply make a right click on your browser and keep up the inspect button. Okay? Again, I'm repeating, keep up the inspect button. Okay? Then after that, you are having the source option. Okay? You are having the source option onto the left hand side, and here you are having index.html, or sorry, this is having your source which you're going to utilize for this one, and here you are having a lot of JavaScript code is there. Okay, connected JavaScript code and whatnot. But how you going to run through this one? Okay, how you going to run through? Keep up the debugger here as well. Breakpoint, guys, everyone able to see this blue bar, blue ribbon, or blue this one? This is also nothing but a breakpoint. As you can see that onto the right hand side, it automatically mentioned that Mayank kept debugger on line number 15 in next.html page. Okay, 1 second. Sometimes this is wrong. Okay, no issues on that. Don't rush for this now. Okay, so here, as you can see that, no, in VS Studio Code there is no place to keep a debugger like this one. Okay, like we were having in Visual Studio Code, there's no place. You can either type for JavaScript debugger word, or here you can utilize in browser. So now if I'm gonna run this, and whenever your code gonna run this one, it is gonna help you to execute this functionality. Okay, here, 1 second. We are having a lot of code is there that you can keep up. Okay, then you can keep a debugger. So simply this is the breakpoint, guys, that you're having. And now I'm just keeping up. See that? Now I'm just keeping up this one. Now I'm keeping a debugger, guys, in line number 2. Okay, see that, line number 2, and now I'm refreshing it. Everyone able to see that? Now I'm refreshing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone able to see that? It got hit, paused in debugger. Simply it is saying that it got paused in debugger. And once, how to run it? This button onto the right hand side. You can completely run the program, or you can do step-by-step execution. Those all things are involved into your debugger mechanism. Okay, and now my debug is running program. Okay, so this is simply about the breakpoint. There are different languages having different breakpoint mechanisms, so no need to confuse much. We're gonna have a detailed discussion on every language, every debugging capabilities. So today was major agenda was to help you to explain what exactly the debugger is. Okay, what exactly the debugger is, and that's how we do. Exactly. Now the last 15 minutes, guys, to keep up your question and just a revision. Okay, just a revision and your question. Yeah, I'm not gonna close, don't worry. I'm gonna revise everything. Okay, whatever we have talked. Okay, so guys, now you can keep up your questions. Okay, and now I'm gonna answer it that way. Got it? So One second. Let's start from where we have started, guys. So the first thing, okay, what exactly the editor, what exactly the IDE, why you need it, and what are the evolutions we were having. Okay, so we simply understood that ID is our need for a developer. Okay, ID is a need for a developer, which help you to write a clean, simplified, and human readable code with lot of readily available functionality. Okay, with lot of readily available functionality. In that one, you are having a lot of code which some other developers already returned it. Okay, which already some other developers are already returned it. Okay, and that's how you are utilizing their functionality and saving your development time. Okay, saving your development time. Okay, can you please again show the debugger and Visual Studio Code? Yes, I can show it to you. Don't worry about it. Okay, I can show you where it is running and all this. Okay, then we talked about what exactly debugger features are there. Okay, and sorry, IDE, and why some IDE are having the compilers, why some IDEs are having the integrated environment with it. Okay, those all things are nothing but a part of your full-fledged IDE. Okay, and along with that, what we discussed, what is the difference between a software and a command. Okay, command program, what is the difference between program and your software, that difference also we have seen it. Okay, so uh, your software is some sort set of instructions which is already written and deployed. Okay, okay, those softwares are already written and deployed for you and distributed to everyone. But set of instructions that we were having it, set of instructions that we were having it, okay, is nothing for specific functionality, and that's how we were calling it as a program. Hey, can you please write a hello world program? That's what we were never saying that can you please write a software for hello world. Are we saying that, guys? No, never we are saying that. We were just keeping up in such a way that can you please write a hello world program. Okay, that's what we were just following it up. Got it? And then after that, we were having a simple installation walkthrough that you all guys are aware of already. Someone asked me about the the difference between the compiler and interpreter. Okay, simply I can help you in a very simple way. Okay, what exactly the compiler and interpreter is. So as I already mentioned that compile gonna take your code, okay, and gonna convert your high level language like JavaScript. Um, JavaScript is there, Java is there, Python is there, C, C++, and whatnot. Those all language gonna taken up by those all language gonna taken up by compiler and running a specifically low level language code. Okay, that's how they were using it, and then finally converting into machine readable format, and that's how it is converting. A simple compile is nothing but a translator between you and your system. Okay, that is nothing but your compiler. Now moving to the next part, that is nothing but interpreter. Okay, or interpreter. Okay, so what exactly the meaning of interpreter is that whenever you are having your high level language, if I'll take example of JavaScript, Python, Ruby or something else, okay, it will coordinate between the machine executable code and your code that you return it. Okay, so in technical or in a layman term, I'll just help you to explain it, that whenever there is an interpreter, it's a program. It's nothing but a program that help you to translate a programming language into a comprehensive one. Okay, so converting high level to machine code, but that is a program. Okay, compiler is also taking up this one and converting into executable machine code. And when we talk about the interpreter, it is doing line by line, not in a batch. Okay, and interpreter is the only one who's coordinating with your debugger. Okay, Interpreter is the only one who is coordinating with the debugger, not the compiler, because interpreter is executing line by line. Okay, so it's comparatively easy to use, even though if you are in very naive level or very basic level. Interpreters are also having the some functionality with related to that. Okay, got it. So this is what the basic difference between compiler and this one. GitHub is, yeah, guys, GitHub is a software. Okay, Git is a bash, okay, command line interface, and GitHub is a software, is a source control mechanism where different developers are keeping their source code and hosting it in a global platform. So suppose today you are writing your code in your own system, tomorrow you went to some other place and you want to access your code. How you can do it? How you can do it? Simply using a source code into the cloud. Guys, take example of a mobile tower, guys. Mobile tower. Okay, your mobile is a portable one. You are traveling with your phone anywhere, but your network is coming all the way around, right? Means someone is giving you the network all the time. Someone is giving the network all the time. Means the availability is there. Similar way, GitHub is also giving a platform where you can host your source code and all those, and you can access it from all around the world. And that is nothing but a simple meaning of it. Interpret detects an error while writing. Exactly, very good. You said it very correct. Interpret detects an error while writing the code. Yeah, and that's how we can change it at runtime. We can change it at runtime. Guys, I don't know whether I do have enough time. You can ask, guys. I can show you the runtime change. Okay, hold on. Let me refresh it again. Okay, this code. Um, See that. You can change it, right? But it is taking from different one, but you can change the code, right? If I can, that is a bit advanced. I don't want to show you that much advanced is there, but yeah, I can show it to you. Do we need an extension to run JSON file? No, JSON file cannot run directly. Guys, JSON is a bit different. Okay, so right now you and me are communicating in which language? Okay, you and me are communicating in not HTML. We are communicating in English, right? So this is our transmission language. Similar way, one entity like backend language and front end language needs some language to communicate, to transfer the data. Okay, and that is nothing but your JSON, XML. Guys, we're gonna have one session in that one. We're gonna talk about transmission language. How different programs gonna coordinate. Your how HTML gonna coordinate with you. Um, how how your backend language going to coordinate with you. Okay, so those are different languages that you're using it around. Okay, got it. Yeah. So this one we are having. Anything else, guys, that I missed it in a question? I don't want to skip any question, guys. Feel free to ask any name, any basic question, anything that you wanted to ask for. I will be happy to answer. We have enough time to answer your questions and all this. Okay, run us through ID itself. That's various extension. Yeah, exactly. So how to download extension? Just simply go to Visual Studio. Just one second. Just one second. Sometimes okay. Here you can go to extension part and simply click on anyone. Um, Consider it disable is include. Okay. Click on that extension and simply click on install. It automatically gonna be available for you. Okay, what is terminal? So terminal is a space where you can write instructions on a complete basic manner. Terminal will take the instructions on a specified format, but there is no intelligence, there is no auto fixing code, there is no debugging anything. Giving instructions, run. Giving instructions, run. That's it. That is nothing but your terminal. Which intelligence extension? ESLint, I told you, right? ESLint and all those. If I wanted to create my own boilerplate, will that be extension? Exactly. Boilerplate means, guys, you are saying that, hey, I created some readily available code, you can utilize it. So you need to write program for that. You need to write the structure. What Angular and React is doing, guys, they are giving you folder structure as well. They're giving you some readily available file as well, and everything. You just need to run the program for a basic one, and then you can start it. Okay, so that is nothing but a boilerplate. Take example, guys. If you're building your house, okay, if you're building your house, you need a brick, you need a cement, and all those, right? Are you building everything by your own? No, right? You are taking up something readily available, right? So that's how you are having blocks of things that is readily available, and you can utilize it around, okay, to make it full-fledged one. Got it? Yeah. So any other question, guys? Do you want to ask? Are we all good? Okay, so if no further questions, we can conclude our session. That's a good part. And guys, whatever your inputs would be, whatever your feedbacks would be there, feel free to keep up into the sheet. Okay, we'll be happy to this one. Okay, and whatever your feedback, anything, guys, very basic. Okay, if you didn't like something, do you want me to correct something? Okay, feel free to keep up onto your feedback, and I'm gonna take it up from that. Okay, got it? Yeah, so we were having some questions that I just want to quickly recap from the QA point of thing. So I already explained the difference between compiler and interpreter. Interpreter is doing line by line, and compiler is doing in a batch format, in a full-fledged single shot. Okay, computer programs and software. I also explained that, right? That we were having some set of instructions, and software is a full-fledged one. Okay, um, got it? Okay, so did I miss anything? Just 1 second. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have anything pending, I guess. Yeah, all good. So I hope you guys understood a very basic of this one. Okay, and you can utilize this knowledge for further sessions. Okay. So thanks everyone. Your questions are very much relevant and help me a lot to cover up this topic. Okay. We were having the tutorial for Git and GitHub everything. Don't worry about it. We're gonna go step by step, guys. We're not gonna dump directly. We're gonna go step by step so that you can understand that one. Okay, that's great. So thanks everyone again. I'm just appreciating all your understanding, your learning, your time. You're keeping up in this way. Okay, and let's keep up the same way, and we're gonna understand with the same understanding and learning. Okay, take care, guys. Keep learning. Be safe, and bye.